Hi, Ryan. It's so good to see you. What I really want to do is talk to you about what you've been doing for the last year and what I'm going to be sharing this with all the NFL teams. So I know you were in the XFL. I know you
Yes.
played for the LA team, and then your season was canceled after about 4 or 5 games.
Yes, we played 5 games. So week 6, I believe it was end of March, maybe first week of April was our last week, and then it just one day shut down, and then and to get back to being a free agent.
Okay, so once so you started obviously for the LA team. What number were you on that
Yes,
team?
45.
You're 45. Okay. So so anybody who wants to can watch his film from the
Yeah,
XFL, and
so it's all on
we
YouTube and
also will have a copy of that to share with you in this Zoom interview. So from there on, what have you done to stay in shape? Just share with me what your process has been this year. But first of all, how much do you weigh and how tall are you? They always want to know that.
so yeah, it's 6'2", 240. I've been staying at around 245. Been a little bit since the off season trying to gain a little bit of weight. Bigger, faster, stronger is always better. So, but whatever. Anyone, they weren't really too on us about weight or any specifics in the XFL like they are in the NFL. So I know that's a big deal. So I've been always trying to get better and stay. So it always helps with blocking and stuff, being a little bit bigger, but still being able to move and being able to be a factor in coverage still. So just trying to.
The other thing they're going to want to know is on your field goal snaps, what is your time of operation? Do you know that? Like, I know you just went to Zonners, and I know I didn't really prepare you for that question, but if you had 10 snaps, what was your operation time? Do you know?
I believe it's you want to be for just from snap to catch on the it's usually around point 0.4 something. 0.5 is a little too slow. But overall operation time kind of depends on the kicker and the holder and stuff. But for the snaps, I know it's around 0.44, I believe, something like
But is
that.
that where you are when you snap? Like if somebody times you off the snaps at Zonners, what
Yeah,
would be
they don't
your
really
time?
for the field goal snaps. They never really make that an issue. Usually on punts, they're always timing because it is kind of hard on the field goal snaps to get a timing and then looking at the look because it happens so fast. It's such a short at 8 yards, and you can throw a ball 8 yards pretty quick in
Okay.
0.44
Okay. So
seconds.
then
So,
let's move to punt snaps. What's your operation time on a punt snap?
so I try and stay around 0.72 and
Okay.
0.75 is as high as I want to go. Just make sure it's smooth. Always, you never want to go too fast, too slow, just super consistent and stay around 0.72 to 0.75.
Okay. What about now? The other concern is blocking in the NFL is different than blocking in college. Now you've been at it. You played on actually 2 teams. Okay.
Mhm.
In the You've played in the AFL, is that what
Yeah.
AAF? Oh yeah, okay. There's been
Yes.
so many leagues. Okay, so the AAF you played, and then you played in the XFL. You also were in a camp at the Raiders, the mini camp. So compare yourself back then to where you are now, because another big concern is blocking. Can you get up and block? So tell me about that.
Well, blocking was something I never really had to do in college since we ran the rugby. A lot of college teams are kind of sticking with rugby. That's their whole thing. Very few colleges now do a pro style punt. So
Right.
I was I didn't have to block, which was kind of good for me since coverage was one of my strong suits. I was able to show I was a little bit faster. I could cover since I didn't have to block. But
Right.
coming out of college, I didn't really have any blocking experience, which was hard. So I went to Gary Zonner and he taught me everything I needed to know for the next level and said, you're going to have to block. There's no rugby in the NFL. So um, it was tough at first, but kind of broke it down. especially when there's so many guys coming at you, all the punts, the different twists and stuff that teams want to throw at you, and pick on the snapper. If they know it's a rookie snapper, they know, oh, he's never had a block. So it was, but working with a lot of people, working with other snappers and stuff, that were able to make it a lot more simple, helped me a lot. And then just stay calm, stay collected. As long as you're doing, always remember snap first. Snap's got to be there first before you even think about blocking. And then letting everything come to you. And practicing it enough to know kind of what's coming, watching film and stuff, and knowing what teams are going to do, so you're not caught off guard. And it makes it a lot easier when you kind of have at least an idea. You never want to assume they're going to do this. You let it all unravel and come to you, and then make sure you get your blocks and help pick if it's a 6-man box, and help your guards out, get them out, get people in coverage faster. And yeah, being just knowing more on punt helps a lot. And then just trying to make it as efficient, as clean as possible, because you never want to get a punt block. That's worst case scenario, and that shouldn't even be an option.
Or field goal, for all that matter.
Yeah, that's just holding there. Field goal is just stay strong for 2 seconds. Punt's a little more. You got to count and know who's guys who, and all that.
So, but you were able to learn that, and you have film on that from both leagues, because you started on both leagues for 2 years, right? So now, and what number were you with the AAF?
I was 51.
And you played for the Memphis team, correct?
Yes, Memphis Express.
Yeah, okay. So now, the XFL ends up not having the rest of their season because of COVID. So what have you been doing for the last year to improve? And where do you think you've improved the most in the last year? And how have you done it?
So as soon as we got back, everything was kind of shut down, and then I would just snap. I have one of those nets in my backyard. Just snap. That's the worst case scenario. If I don't have anyone to snap to, or in COVID, fields are closed. You can get on a field, but we've gotten kicked off fields many times at the beginning stages of COVID, where they weren't allowing any groups, any gatherings. So I would just sit at home, snap in the net, just to kind of keep my skills sharp, which was good, because I was, a few days before I was in a game, I was in mid-season form. So it was kind of just keeping my skills sharp. And then once everything opened back up again, I started going to John Carnies down in Carlsbad, San Diego, to get some good work. Get a lot of good guys there, better competition, just a lot of good mentorship from Carney. He has tons of NFL experience and things like that. And then his combine was shortly after. I believe it was in August.
Okay, do you know John Carney's phone number and contact information? Can you share that? Because anybody can call John Carney.
Yes. Do you want me to send it to you, or?
No, I want you to say it right now.
Okay. Let me look it up. Hold on. Real quick. I don't have his number memorized, unfortunately.
Okay, so, but just to share with you, I know Ryan has been going to John Carney's because John's in San Diego, and Ryan is in the kind of the Murrieta area near Riverside. So it's not that far for him to go and work out with John Carney and the other kickers and punters that have been working out there all year. And I'm just waiting while he gets the phone number. Okay, so what's the phone number and the email? How do we get a hold of John Carney?
I do not have his email. I can get that after. Okay. But his phone number is 858-829-4517. And it's John Carney.
Okay. So I would encourage people to talk to John, because I know you've been down there quite a bit, Ryan.
He's just a better, even when the gyms open back up, I could come here. I could go to whatever gym I wanted to in the town, but I try and make it a point to get over there and work out at his gym even with the restrictions and stuff, and you got to schedule a time, and it's so much easier just to go down the street. But I try and get over there. It's just a lot more beneficial, and I feel like my performance increases. And I've noticed that sometimes, like during COVID, I had to stay in town for and kind of just sat by myself for a little bit, and I noticed there didn't have that edge in the environment, and then it definitely takes a toll on you, and it's you don't get as good of work as you can by
Yes. So
staying here instead of going to
like how many times a week would you say, or I should say how many times a month were you able to get to Carnies and then, or you worked out on your own?
I try and go because we go on the field Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They don't kick every single day. So I try and get down there 3 times a week.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes at least, yeah. And it's because it's not too bad. It's not too bad of a drive. Sometimes the traffic coming back is tough, and it takes me quite a bit, but that's fine. Once we get all of our work in, I'm done for the day. So I don't mind sitting in traffic if I'm able to go get a lot better work than I would here. I try
Yeah.
and maximize my training
Yeah.
wherever
So
that may be.
the point here is you're in shape, ready to go. And you've been working out with kickers, punters with the live punt,
Yes, that's huge.
punter and kicker. And I think that is huge. And it's hard to do. Luckily, you're not that far from Carnies because not everybody has that opportunity.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward, in February, you end up going to Zonners. So tell me the time you've spent with Gary this year. I realize Gary's in Arizona, but you did go to this camp this year. So tell me a little bit about
I went there twice, actually. He has it's an invite only training camp type situation. It's a weekend. You go down there, and that was the end of January, kind of a little training session before his combine in March, the big combine. So I went over there in January. He tries to simulate like going into a training camp, a couple training sessions, watching film, doing all that, being on the field for long periods of time. That's back to back to back. Because in a training camp, you sometimes it's not like a game week where you get to pick, okay, I'm going to snap this day, make sure I'm fresh for the game. It's training camp where you're going all week.
Yeah.
And you don't have time to be like, oh, I'm gonna rest. We have special teams every day. We gotta do that, and then we gotta go watch the film, and then we gotta get back out there. So that was really good. That was really helpful. And then we kind of went over some stuff like that you might see at the combine or this or that, and he just prepares you for anything. Because at the combine, we ended up having to adjust and change some things. There was concerns about the weather, so we switched there. You kind of crammed everything all into one day, which was fine. I prefer I was having a good day, so might as well just do it all in one day. And
so you went to Gary's combine. How did you do at the combine in comparison to everybody else? I know he ranks them and rates them, and
yeah, I thought I did well. I was happy with my performance. There was a lot of guys did well. There was a lot of people there. It was probably the most I think he's ever had, which was it was tough. Like you would snap, and then you'd kind of have to sit there for quite a while and let everyone else go. And same with kickers, they'd kick and have to, especially kickers. There was so many there, like so it was tough. It was tough, and we did have to adjust and change. And whatever the scouts wanted, we were willing to adjust and give them whatever they wanted to see to help. And so it was good. I enjoyed it. It was a good competition.
What was your number at Gary's camp? Do you know?
57, I believe. Okay. I think the snapper started at 50, and I was the 7.
Okay.
I believe so. I was 57, I believe.
Okay. So is there anything else you've been doing to stay in shape, eating right, working out, and then
always eating right. I train with here. I'll do some. My roommate from college, Ricky Ortiz, he was on Baltimore, Atlanta, and the Saints. He was a fullback. So I'll try and do some field stuff with him. And he gives me some good punt rush looks since he's played in the NFL, played multiple games, started for Atlanta for multiple years, and was on his big special teams guy, gets on punt. He's played every position on punt, basically, besides punter and snapper. uh, and then so he knows all the calls. He knows he to work with the center. We'll do things. I'll work with him at he'll be guard. We'll do that things like that. And he's also been on punt block, so he knows all the. He gives real good looks and a real NFL type rush instead of just someone standing there with a bag. Like sometimes that happens. We don't have enough people to simulate a live rush, or someone will just stand there, or just to give you a train of thought of where you need to go. But having that real rush, real someone who's rushed and tried to block kicks in an NFL game in a practice situation is so beneficial. So that's been huge. And then I'll do my field stuff with him and to kind of help him with his stuff. And it's a good relationship we have, and helping each other get better in all the training stuff we need to do, and making sure we do get all the things we need to get done instead of having to settle, especially with COVID. Sometimes like, oh well, I can't get this done, but we always make sure we find ways to get everything we need to get done to get better, to get where we want to be.
Okay, so how does a team get a hold of you to work you out or sign you? What's your phone
So
number and your email?
phone number, cell phone number, area code 951-595-2462. And then my email is Ryan Navarro, RyanNavarro, the number 2 at gmail.com.
Okay, great. So if anybody wants to get a hold of Ryan, you can also call me, Jill Baxter. My cell number is 559-250-0151. And I've been representing Ryan since he left college at Oregon State. So again, you can call me at 559-250-0151. You don't need to wait till the draft. You can sign him now. He's available.
Do it
So
now. Ready to
thank-
go.
Okay, well, thanks for listening.